been really hectic, but I'm keeping up and holding my ground as far as I can.
You know, we talk a lot about Jewish supremacy on this program. You're an innocent man, but over the past few days, this disgusting Jew has internationally destroyed your reputation. He's threatened you. He's threatened your family. He's had your scholarship to Temple University revoked. Would you call that Jewish supremacy?
To an extent, yes, I believe that is just because it goes to show how much control that one group could have on anyone's potential career. I mean, I've seen arguments saying that if the same sign said, fuck the Muslims, fuck the blacks, fuck the Christians, the impact that those signs would have had is not anywhere near the impact that this type of sign had, especially on a person that, like I said, wasn't necessarily even involved in it. So just to kind of put it into perspective, they're completely and utterly uprooting and annihilating one individual based off of pretty much nothing. If that doesn't show some kind of supremacy in in state and that's there, then I don't really know what else counts as supremacy.
So millions of people saw this sign. First of all, we saw the reaction of the people that were there at the bar in Philadelphia, and they were loving it. I mean, they really thoroughly enjoyed the sign. They were yelling, they were chanting, they were screaming, fuck the Jews. And I think the big concern here for Dave Portnoy and these other Jews, and we'll get to Robert Kraft in a minute. I mean, we could talk about all of this, but I think the biggest concern here is that what happened in the bar is just a microcosm of the wider sentiment of humanity. You know, and it doesn't really matter at this point if you're a Muslim or if your parents immigrated here legally as yours did. It doesn't matter if your skin is brown or black or white. It doesn't matter about your religious ideology or your political affiliations. Everybody's pretty much like, fuck the Jews. And I think that, you know, when that got out and when it went as viral as it did on Instagram, he just didn't know what to do other than just panic and start crying and start freaking out and then start labeling you as being responsible for it. So millions of people, 9.2 million across his platforms, they heard different variations of a story about how the signs got there and about what your involvement was and that you were going to Auschwitz and all of these other things. But none of that is actually true. So what really happened?
Let me break it down. So initially we got to his establishment, Barstool Sansom Street in Philadelphia. Like we normally do, we frequently visit. I didn't really have much connection with Portnoy prior to this. I know he made videos about pizza and whatnot, but besides that, nothing really else. We get there. To get bottle service, you need to put a card and an ID under the table. So this card and ID was under a specific girl's, and then we started the night. The first sign that came out, mind you, that was not the only sign that came out. There was multiple signs. The first sign that came out said "Top Foe" in reference to Anthony Edwards' Popeye's chicken commercial or interview that he had. The second one was a sign that we kind of use in between ourselves, just as a regular term. And the third one was a sign that said "Fuck the Jews." Like I said, it was clearly provocative because it reminds people of what Israel's actions are doing across the country. So I recorded it, uploaded it, didn't expect much backlash. Get to that, 2 hours later, my social media is blowing up saying this, that, this is terrible, take it down. And I didn't realize to the effect that people were getting hurt over just a couple of words. So I was like, all right, I'll take it down. It was already like 2 a.m., 3 a.m. at night. No one was really seeing it. I was like, all right, the night's done. Let's forget about it. But as the time goes on, the next morning I wake up and my phone is absolutely blowing up. And I'm really confused because I was like, what is going on? I talked to Dave and a couple other people after this incident and come to find out that originally I did notice that Dave was kind of just freaking out over his Instagram, threatening to annihilate me, come at my throat, burn my family to the ground. And he said that it would be all right if we took a trip to Auschwitz. Whatever. In his first video, he said that he was on it. He's thoroughly investigating everything that's going on. Come to find out, 2 days later, I'm on the phone with Mr. Portnoy, and he can't even tell me the accurate name of the person that the table was under. How are you accurately going to say that I am on a situation and then blame someone completely and entirely different when you don't even know what's going on? I know he was busy with the Bet Gala and the Met Gala, etc., but that doesn't give him the right to not check what actually happened, fire a bottle girl for something that is still protected under the First Amendment right, and then come at me all over the internet for something that has almost no correlation to me. I think it was just despicable and, like I said, an absolute slandering and tarnishing of my name across the internet.
You know, one thing I will say, though, is that these Jews are very tribal, you know, no matter what. And that's what I want to talk about with this Robert Kraft thing. So Robert Kraft is apparently the guy that you call when you need some social reinforcement for the Jew police and somebody offends some Jew somewhere. This is the guy that airs all of those anti-Semitism hype ads, you know, like during the Super Bowl and all this other stuff. I mean, he owns the New England Patriots. The guy is a very well-off, extremely rich Jew. And so we're seeing these people come together. They're very tribal. They'll stick up for each other no matter what. We have seen the entire Jewish community, including Robert Kraft, make sure that your life is 110% destroyed. So do you think that now is the time for humanity to join forces and become tribal against Jewish supremacy?
Absolutely. And especially in this case, in the case of the Americans, what this constitutes our First Amendment right, if we're not supporting what America was built on and coming together to make sure that everyone stands on that,